Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. I just thought I would do another video on this topic. I got a really good email from someone just a little while ago, one of my subscribers, who saw a video that he thought would add into this topic that I've already done discussing fitness models and athletes and the lying about the drug use in fitness modeling, bodybuilding, sports, etc. And he felt it would make a good video, and I agree, so I decided I'm just going to knock out a video on this real quick, because I've had a couple of other incidences since I've done those kind of related to these topics a bit. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, the video is of Christian Boeving, and I'm going to link it right here and down below. And he's doing an interview because it's a very famous documentary on anabolic steroids called Bigger, Stronger, Faster, and he was interviewed in it, and he admitted, and I'm not sure if everyone knows who he is, but I do, because he's been a fitness model almost as long as I've been weightlifting, a top fitness model. He was one of Muscle Tech's top guys for a decade. He basically admitted in the documentary that, yeah, he uses steroids, and he was asked, is that false advertising because you're advertising these supplements as a model? They're using you on the cover, and he said, no, it's not false advertising because I do use the products. I do use the hydroxycut and things. But if people think that that's the only thing I'm on, then that's foolish of them to make that assumption. And he basically lost his contract. That Muscle Tech fired him after something like 9 or 10 years of being one of their top fitness models. And he was literally in hundreds and hundreds of magazines. So this kind of shows you of why do these guys lie about it? Quite simply because our industry, and it's not just the fitness industry, but the sports industry, is built upon this fake image. And supplement industry are trying to sell their products. They don't want the steroids highlighted. And by having these things like natural bodybuilding come up and these so-called natural fitness models and drug-free powerlifting and everything else, it gives them kind of, again, a pristine image away from everything else, and they can sell their products again. And so if these guys are admitting it, they're breaking down that illusion they're trying to sell. It's going to hurt them financially. It's going to hurt their business. And while some of them might actively lie about it, others just keep their mouth shut. And it's the same thing when you look at sports. Look at what happened to Lance Armstrong. Look how many sponsorships he lost, and I think some of the companies are even trying to sue Lance Armstrong to get money back that they sponsored him with over all of these fiascos. And the thing is, everyone else he competed against is using the same drugs. He didn't do anything any different from what the other people are doing. So, but he has been demonized, and there are financial repercussions. And it's the same with anybody in the industry. And I even had kind of a run-in yesterday, and I'm out of respect for this person, even though they've said a few negative things about me, I am not naming their name. I'm not going to tell you where to find them, who they are. And I'm also doing this out of respect for some of the other YouTube channels, because this person is personal friends with at least a couple of the other YouTube channels. But it's a powerlifter who I know, who I've interacted with online for quite a long time. I was talking to another person from a similar circle on a private steroid forum called GH15, and we were joking about another circle of people that we interacted with quite a bit in the past, and I've kind of pulled away from that group due to them basically attacking me over not liking the way I run my channel or conduct myself. So I've just kind of pulled away from them, which I think is reasonable. But I simply stated, without making any reference to who this person was, their name, nothing. All I jokingly said was, yeah, the guy, after 10 years of lifting, was struggling with 405 on the squat and turning into good mornings, and he could barely even lift it, and form was breaking down terribly. And all of a sudden, after he'd taken 10 years to get there, 9 months later, he walks into an untested powerlifting meet and hits 530 pounds. He has 125 pounds to that squat that he couldn't even lift correctly 9 months before. And I typed something like, all natural, baby. But apparently this person saw it and then got really upset and wanted to call me out on it, started a thread on a forum, and I basically just ignored it. And he had a bunch of people who were defending him, and they were angry at me for supposedly attacking someone. When to me it was just tongue-in-cheek humor, and as you guys know, I don't consider it a negative or an insult to say that somebody uses gear. I don't see it as a negative. So To me, that's not an attack. But it was perceived that way, and it kind of shows the point of how people have to defend themselves. Because this person's reputation is on the line. He is financially tied in quite a few ways to the industry itself. And I guess this person needed to defend themselves, and I walked away from it simply because of the fact that my main defense would have been, well, why are you reading a private steroid forum that requires you to prove yourself to get higher and higher ranks to access to subforums that the average person without a membership cannot even view the forum at all? That discusses nothing but steroids and anabolic drugs. That is the entire purpose of the forum. They don't discuss any other topics. So, again, it would ask the question of, well, why are you hanging out there if you're drug free or natural? I have no idea. I would assume by default anybody with a membership there is either on gear or heavily interested in researching it to go on gear. So, but I didn't want to do that, and so I left the situation alone. But that kind of highlights the situation. And knowing all of this, when I first jumped into this and I started discussing these things, I had to make that choice of if I wanted to discuss this on my YouTube channel. Because as you guys know, and I'm not going to lie about it, YouTube is a business. I do make money at this. I don't make a fortune doing it, and I probably never will. But I love doing it. I enjoy it, but this is a side business for me. It is a part-time job. But that's great because I get to help people and I do something I love and I get paid a little bit of money on the side for it. You can't beat that. But I had to decide if I really wanted to go down this route, because if I want to make money in this industry, and my channel was starting to grow pretty quick already when I started doing this, and I realized that this could open up other business opportunities for me, and if I'm really honest, it's going to hurt me financially in the long term. So even for me, I knew that by me discussing all this drug testing in sports and just kind of telling people the truth about these things, that in the long term, nobody's going to want to sponsor me. I'm not going to get sponsored by supplement companies or Adidas shoes or Nike or anyone else, because this hurts the image they're promoting in sports and in fitness and in bodybuilding. And for me to be just brutally honest like that kind of breaks down this illusion that people have been sold. So that is why people keep shut about it. It hurts them financially. It hurts their future and even their current financial endeavors. And so the question becomes, should we get mad at these people for keeping food on their table, or even for trying to make extra millions of dollars by keeping their mouth shut? Or should we be mad at the industries that force this situation, that force people to basically lie to make a profit? So I personally blame all these companies that sponsor the athletes for acting this way. I blame the governments that are involved, because if you guys watched my video called Dianabol America, fuck yeah, you guys realize that all of our governments, their hands are just as dirty with all of this. The U.S. government invented this right here. It's on my shirt. The U.S. government sponsored this for their Olympic athletes. This is all documented. We know this. So their hands are just as dirty as anyone else's in creating the situation that we've had in sports for the past 60 plus years. So I don't think our anger should necessarily be directed at these fitness models and these athletes and these bodybuilders. I think it should be a bit more directed at this industry and these industries that are involved with this, and politicians that have been involved with this, and media agencies that are involved with this, who create these PR campaigns. You really want to blame somebody, that's who you should be blaming. Don't get mad at these individual athletes. But that's just my take on it. And that's really all I have to say on that today, guys. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.